Hello and welcome to the Temple of Tomes with your host, Indie Comics Jones. Today's May 13th, 2021, and this is the big episode 300. 300 in less than a year on this channel, so thank you very much for supporting me. We're going to talk about the Joker. This is issue number 3, coming out from DC, and it also has a backup story featuring Punchline. I'm holding this down right now because the cover is popping up. The cardstock on this is very thick, so it's taking on a life of its own. This comic comes in at $5.99. Right now we see the Joker relaxing on a lounge chair at a resort in Belize. And although this actual is not an actual depiction, it is pretty accurate what's going on right now. Joker's hiding out in Belize. And we're finding out a lot more things going on in this particular issue now, which has been, it's getting better and better, actually. So I'm glad I'm on this one. I'm only reading one other DC comic right now, and that's The Swamp Thing, which is spectacular on its own. So I'm not sure how long this is going to go. Let's take a look to see who is working on this. It's James Tynion IV is the writer. Guillem March is the artist, and he's doing a fantastic job. Arif Prianto is doing the colors, and the colors are spectacular. They're just vibrant in this. Tom Napoletano, I don't know if I said that right, is the letterer. And let's see if we can find out who the editor is. Ben Abernathy is the editor on this. So all in all, a really nice production. We don't get too much of the Joker, even though this is called the Joker. It's actually more a James Gordon story. And as we can see, it starts out here. James Gordon is reliving the portion of The Killing Joke, if you've read that comic. A very tragic comic in which his daughter, Barbara, is shot by the Joker and handicapped and must remain in a wheelchair. Now, she's no longer in a wheelchair in this. I don't know if she's got some apparatus that's helping her to walk. I'm not quite sure if I'm getting that mixed up with another comic or not. But right now, he's reliving it. And he's really obsessing about the Joker on this. He's been given the opportunity to go out and hunt down the Joker and kill him for $25 million. Now, he talked it over with Batman. He's talked it over with his daughter, Barbara. And he's decided to go, just even give him the chance if something comes up, maybe he does pull the trigger. And the people that have contracted him to do so are paying him $25 million and all expense paid as well. And they've got the lead that the Joker is somewhere in Belize. Now, unbeknownst to him, his contractors are actually the Court of Owls that want the Joker dead. And on top of that, there's two other factions, the Hooper family of Texas, who are kind of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre cannibal types, have sent a couple of assassins, as well as a small army of highly technical fighters, soldiers coming as well. And one appears to be a super soldier, at least one of them. So he starts reliving his past with the Joker here, and what a nightmarish figure it is, how the Joker gets in your brain, how he kills, and it's basically just James Gordon taking one last look to get psyched up for this trip at this old amusement park, and he just talks about how the Joker still haunts him forever. So he meets up with his contracted agent, and she's arranged the private jet for him, gives him the special credit card, and sees him off, basically. Now, of course, there's this woman's henchman. Her name is Cressetta, yeah. And this henchman doesn't say anything. He's just on the plane with him. So they take off. But James Gordon is not without his allies. He's got Barbara helping him out here. and Stephanie Brown is going to help with the data that she's collecting. They're trying to figure out where James is at all times, and also any suspicious activity on his contractors as well. Not only do they have Stephanie Brown helping out, but they also have Cassandra Cain, and she has jumped on the woman's car and is trying to get a whereabouts where she is hiding out as well. So as Jim is poring over his information on the Joker, his thoughts come to him, what kind of serial killer he is and why he's so hard to capture and whatnot. And this is now chapter 8. We had chapter 7 and chapter 8 are in this book. I'm not quite sure how they're broken out. It's either 3 chapters per book or 2 chapters per book. And then we get a cutaway to this other airline where we've got these 2 people here. These are the Hooper family. And it turns out they're going to massacre everybody on this plane for some reason, and hopefully not the pilot, or unless he's a pilot himself. But as you can see, people are kind of looking terrified now. And we'll pick up where they are later. Then we have our cutaway to the high-tech army that's coming. And this is this woman super soldier that was built in the 2nd issue. So there's all these people trying to kill the Joker, and the reason being, the main reason is they think he let off a bomb in Arkham Asylum that killed about half the population there. And the fact is, the Joker actually will confess to Jim later in this issue that he's not the one who did it, and he doesn't have any idea who did. And when this bomb went off and killed half the people, it also took out people that had family members or acquaintances or friends, and now so many of them want the Joker dead, even though he's actually not guilty of this particular crime, according to him. So James lands in Belize. He leaves his friend behind, and he starts going in and questioning all the locals, trying to figure out where the Joker might be staying, what resort. He's looking to find out the service help in particular, because they typically, after a few drinks, may give him some information. Now, armed with this information, he is off and just knocks on this, happens to go to this one resort, just poking around basically, and he finds the Joker and immediately draws his weapon. And at this point, the Joker has his henchmen behind him, and this is where the Joker tells James that, oh, by the way, you're not the only one looking for me. We've got other people heading this way. And we can see, he goes, the soldiers are already have come up. They've taken out the guards on the perimeter. And now we have this other Belize tourist bus with our 2 of the Hooper family. You can see everybody in the bus has been slaughtered as well. So Joker's basically telling him at this point, if you want to live, I think we have to fight together. And that's where it ends. Next is War Buddies, is our next chapter in this. I'm not sure what this chapter is called, or this particular issue. So, very exciting cliffhanger here. He's coming up against 2 rival forces, and then he's also got James Gordon, who has been contracted to kill the Joker as well, but he's always kind of having second thoughts. He's kind of trying to be as honorable as Batman in the fact that he doesn't want to really kill anybody, but if the opportunity arises or there's an issue that he may have to take him out, he will do so, I believe. Punchline, chapter 3 here. As you recall, we've got Punchline's been put in prison. She's awaiting her trial. In the meantime, Bluebird is doing some investigative work on her own, and she has trapped, I want to say I don't know, he trapped or she was trapped, but she's got Punchline's accomplice here from college, Snyder College, and so they're at the basement of one of the buildings, and this accomplice named Aiden is showing Punchline all the paraphernalia that Punchline has. Her name is Alexis something. Has collected over the years, and their plans and about the recording equipment, about doing her podcast. He was the one that produced the podcast. Then we get a cutaway to Blackgate Penitentiary, where one of the other inmates has contracted Orca to go and beat up Punchline, because Punchline basically destroyed their leader. So a fight breaks out between Orca and Punchline here. Punchline actually gets the upper hand for a moment, but just as Orca's about to smash her with the sink, she says, "Wait, listen to me." So I think they've got some kind of plan going on here. Meanwhile, back at Snyder College, we got a lot of ads here, but at least they're not Snickers ads. We've got Bluebeard being shown all these things about the hit list, and Aiden saying, "I thought the hit list was just for fun. I didn't realize she'd actually meet the Joker someday and be influenced by him." But he's saying he believes she's innocent. Now we get this one shot here where she's looking through the book, and she's saying, who's this person? And I'm not sure if she's pointing at the one in the middle, like X'd out, or this one, which I thought was Alexis or Punchline. I'm not quite sure, but apparently there's paralyzing gas in the book that just happens to go off right at the moment where she's questioning this one thing. And then Aiden confesses at this point that it was his plan all along to trap her, and he also confesses that Punchline might have a higher body count, but I'm going to be the one that takes out a superhero. I'll be the first. And no one's laughing anymore as he lights the building on fire, and she's in a paralyzed state, unless she has taken some type of antidote. So it is a recommend. It is getting the Indie Comics Jones good excavating seal of approval. I think James Tynion IV is doing a fantastic job on this. Very exciting. And the other story is by Sam. I should go through there too. I think it's Sam Johns is working with. Sam Johns and James Tynion IV are working on Punchline number 3. The artist is Mirka Andolfa. So the art in here is good as well. The colors were Romulo Fajardo Jr., letters by Ariana Mayer, and the editor is Dave Wildgos. So 2 good stories in one issue. So I think it's worth the $5.99 actually. It's about 30 pages or so of beautiful art, lots of good color, just very vibrant, really standing out, and stepping away from that bisexual lighting we've seen in so many of the comics now. So I'm really enjoying that. So let me go ahead and give this the Indie Comics Jones good excavating seal of approval, giving out only by Indie Comics Jones. You have to go to this channel to see the seal given out. And thank you for stopping by and watching my 300th video that I've put on this channel, 300 or so. And we'll hopefully see you next time. I've got a few more books this week. It's a little lighter week, but it'll be a little easier on me. Please please subscribe if you haven't, and please leave comments. Love to hear from you. And we'll see you next time at the Temple of Tomes. This is Indie Comics Jones bidding you adieu.